is Logan Reichling. This is Harold Schueler, and welcome to Between Two Bookshelves. So, Dr. Schueler, how are you doing today?
Doing very well, thank you.
Nice, nice. So, forensic biology.
Yes.
So, how long have you worked here?
Well, this is my 6th year, so I'm actually up for tenure this year, but I've been working for many, many years before coming to ONU.
Nice, nice. What classes are you teaching this semester?
I'm teaching Gen Bio.
Okay.
It's a lab, and then I'm also teaching pharmacology, advanced toxicology, and a course called practical toxicology.
Ooh, sounds like a pretty tough semester. How do you fit this all in your schedule?
It's a tight schedule, but one of the courses only meets once a week, and then it has lab 5 days a week, and I don't teach all 5. I have other professors that also teach.
Okay. I'm a computer science student, so you might have to. What do you do in those classes?
A lot of the techniques that I have. I was a forensic toxicologist for 26 years, so pretty much I'm trying to teach the students the same procedures that we have used in forensic toxicology for a long time.
Cool.
Yeah.
I know. I was looking you up a bit before this. I was looking at your LinkedIn.
Okay.
I saw 15 years as chief toxicologist at what county was that?
That was in Broward County in Fort Lauderdale. As a matter of fact, just the other day there was a documentary on CNN called American Pain, which it was a documentary of the opioid crisis back in, I think it's covering years around 2012. And I was in Broward County from 1997 to 2012, so I was there during the opioid crisis, and we were actually the epicenter for OxyContin during that time. So,
could you go a bit more into detail about that? What did you do in the toxicology?
Well, I did forensic toxicology for 26 years.
Okay.
Most of the time I was a chief toxicologist, and I started in Cincinnati. I did a lot of cases. I only testified about twice during my time in Cincinnati. When I was in Broward County, Florida is a very litigious state, and so we did some very high-profile cases. We did Anna Nicole Smith's autopsy, so we got a lot of publicity then. We did a baseball player, Stephen Beckler. He was like a rookie for the Baltimore Orioles.
Okay.
He died of heat stroke, but he had been taking ephedra. And so, as a matter of fact, it was because of that case they banned ephedra because we were able to find ephedra in his system, but it was only a contributing cause. We had a case, James Lawrence, who was a New York Yankee, who was involved in a DUI in Fort Lauderdale, and it was a DUI manslaughter case, and so that was a pretty popular case. And then, like I mentioned, the OxyContin. So
yeah. Sounds pretty intense.
Well,
yeah.
I have to say that over the 26 years, I've had some very, very interesting cases. So I try to incorporate that into lecture. So while I'm teaching different courses, if there's a case that pertains to a particular concept, I will go ahead and include it.
Could you give an example?
We had a case where we had a 9-month-old baby that died from she had a blood alcohol of a 0.47,
wow,
which is enough to kill an adult. And then we did the ocular fluid, and it was a 0.42, and then a brain alcohol of a 0.38. So it was very consistent with, it wasn't like a mix-up of samples, and so I used the interpretation as part of that part of the course when I'm trying to interpret blood alcohols. And then I talk about vitreous humor, blood alcohol versus blood alcohol. I talk about, we actually did analysis of alcohol in the baby formula and how that related to the level in the blood. And so that has so many different levels of interpretation on it that I can actually use it in several different lectures. So,
So it's like your real world experience coming out in your lectures almost?
Yes, yeah.
Nice, nice. You said you were from Cincinnati?
Well, I did my graduate work in Cincinnati. I went to the University of Cincinnati for graduate school, and then I started, from there I went right over to the Hamilton County Coroner's Office.
Oh, I'm from Cincinnati.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm looking actually at University of Cincinnati right now.
Well, I was there when they were in the Super Bowl the previous time, so when Ickey Woods was on the Bengals, so it's been a while.
What research did you do in graduate school?
My research was I looked at the effects of alcohol on rat synaptic plasma membranes using NMR, and I was considering doing a postdoc in that same type of research, membranes using NMR, that type of thing. But when I had always been interested in forensics, so I visited the Hamilton County Coroner's Office at the time. And when I saw that it was very analytical, chemistry based, that's when I decided to maybe give it a shot because they had a position open, and so I started, and that was all she wrote. Then I switched over and I was a forensic toxicologist for 26 years after that. So.
When did you find out you were interested? You must be very interested.
Actually, in undergraduate, when I went to Kenyon College, and I was reading analytical chemistry articles that had a forensic twist to them. So the very first one I remember, they were examining glass fragments at a crime scene using gas chromatography, mass spectrometry. And so I knew at that point that I liked science and the application of science to forensic work.
Cool.
Yeah.
So after 26 years, what got you into teaching?
Initially, it was because of the fact that well, I was in Cleveland before coming to Ohio Northern, and the opioid epidemic kind of transitioned from heroin and OxyContin to fentanyl, which it is now, and then there was a period of time when carfentanil made an appearance, and it started in Akron. And Cleveland got hit very hard by it, and our caseload just kept increasing. And it got to a point where I was spending so much time at work, and I started to realize, now I always thought I would go into academia, and it was kind of like a good transition at that time to move into academia. And I'm actually pretty happy that I'm doing it now because we've come up with a research project that's really kind of exciting that we have been doing for about 6 months now to a year, and I'm hoping it will have a significant impact on the way we do toxicology, forensic toxicology. It will speed up the analysis.
So research here?
Yes, yeah.
Please go into that.
Just briefly, we're looking at using isotopically labeled standards, which are currently used, but they're used as internal standards in the process of calibrating our instruments. And we're looking at using them as calibrators. So we're going to be using several different standards that vary in atomic weight because they'll have different number of isotopes. And these are not radioactive isotopes. These are like carbon-13. So we will use drugs that have different numbers of carbon-13, and we can actually spike the case sample with different versions of the drug, just labeled differently, and we can get a calibration curve from within the sample versus the way it's done now, where you have to spike multiple drugs externally and run those as calibrators. And so we're hoping that by doing this we can speed up the entire process of calibrating for a quantitative analysis of drugs.
Interesting. Yeah. Do you have many students in your lab?
Well, the group has grown to about 10 students now.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice.
And we're actually working on trying to apply for some NIJ grants. because it's going to be kind of costly for this project. So
Yeah. I suspect you need all sorts of fancy equipment.
that too. Right now, we currently use the equipment that's in the chemistry department. They do have a liquid chromatograph mass spectrometer, and so we are capable of using that instrument. But eventually, we would like to go to a little bit more sophisticated equipment.
Okay. So after 26 years, where are you at ONU?
Well, like I mentioned, I have worked at many different locations: Cincinnati, Fort Lauderdale. I did go out to California for a year and work in a private lab. I was in Cleveland before coming to ONU, and I had heard that Dr. DeLuca was looking for someone to as a professor that would be able to do toxicology. So it was kind of a perfect fit because I was looking to transition away from government work and get into academia. And so when the opportunity arose, I thought this would be perfect for me. And I'm from Ohio. I grew up in Ohio, and I have family in Ohio. So
nice. What do you love about ONU?
Well, I love the research opportunities. I love the students. We have some very top-notch students. I'm very impressed with them academically, and I don't particularly care for the winters. You know, it is especially the tundra. It gets really cold.
Yeah, it's
when
called
the
the
wind's
tundra
blowing.
for a reason.
Yes,
yeah.
It is. Yes, but I could get around that. You know, I just bundle up. But otherwise, I love the campus, the faculty. It's just a very nice working environment.
Great. That sounds great. I'm glad you're enjoying your time here.
Well, thank you very much. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you for watching Between the Bookshelves. My name is Logan, and again, this is Harold. Thank you.